अपनी बात रखने के लिए. All right, now my editor-in-chief Rishabh Gulati has had the opportunity to have a conversation with Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, who's the Union Minister of Railways, Electronics and Information Technology and Information and Broadcasting. Let's take a look at this conversation.
Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. I'm Rishabh Gulati, and yes, it's been yet another budget day. Now, we talk about the budget within which now we have to talk about railways. It's a sector that is one of the most awe-inspiring ones. 12 lakh employees. It has using 11 billion passengers, 1.5 billion tons of freight every year. The population of Australia sitting in a railway dabba every single day in this country. And the man who's been sort of piloting this for the last several years is sitting with us, Ashwini Vaishnaw. For people watching this broadcast, a very genuine and hard-working guy, probably doing a very thankless job. Ashwini ji, thank you for doing all the things that you're doing. First of all, many congratulations. Srinagar, Baramulla, so exciting. When is it starting?
Very soon.
So we are hopefully days, weeks away.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw you when you were doing the Chenab, that bridge inaugural. I mean, as a project in itself, how important is it for India?
Very important because it connects Jammu with the Kashmir Valley. And of course, the entire state with the rest of the network.
How is the progress going, sir, when it comes to, because we are about to reach or have reached electrification, how's it going?
That's a very important milestone. We'll be achieving 100% electrification in the fiscal year 25-26. We are already around 97%. Some of the most difficult parts where construction is going on, those are the areas where work is still going on, and hopefully and this is the 100th year of electrification in our country. So we'll be achieving 100% electrification in this year.
Ashwini ji, in a fundamental way, transforming the railways from overcrowded, dirty, sometimes unsafe, to the modern Bharat. What is the scale of the ambition? From Vande Bharat to the upgradation of tracks to the bullet trains, what's the scale of the ambition now?
Listen, it's a very complex network, very large network, and lots of legacy issues. So we have to work very methodically, very systematically, very meticulously. Nuts and bolts kind of work has to be done. It's not something which is a kind of economic reform subject. It is a subject where you need to have a lot of technology in place. Lots of operational changes have to be made, and a continuous monitoring of certain parameters have to be done on a daily basis, and that's what we are doing, and the results are in front of us. This year we'll be achieving three very major milestones. We'll be achieving 1.6 billion tons of cargo.
Record, yes.
We'll be doing 3 lakh crore rupees of revenue, and we'll be doing 100% electrification. And this budget has given us a very good allocation of 2,52,000 crore. Imagine in the UPA government time it was just 30,000 crore. So 2,52,000 crore. So we'll be manufacturing 100 Amrit Bharat trains, which is long distance trains, non-air conditioned, for the Shramik families and the low income families, 1,000 kilometers at 450 rupees with very good facilities. Then we'll be manufacturing 50 Namo Bharat trains. These are shuttle kind of fast moving trains between two cities located at a short distance from each other. First one is already running. We'll be manufacturing 200 more Vande Bharat trains, which is very popular. Everywhere the honorable members of parliament are demanding, public is demanding for Vande Bharat trains. We'll be doing 1,000 new flyovers and underpasses.
Okay, why has this become controversial? Because the capex has gone up 2x in less than 5 years. It's gone up 10x in 15 years. But people are saying, oh, it's not gone up this year again. What's the problem? What's the
This is this is the optimal number.
So 2.5 lakh crores is what you need. You are happy with that number?
Absolutely.
Okay. What does that 2.5 lakh crore achieve for us? Because you're building, I'm told, 14 kilometers of track per day. 130,000 kilometers of track exists in the country. Do we need to build more track after the 40,000 you already added? Is it track upgradation? Is it track widening? What's the plan?
Now the addition of new tracks versus upgradation of old tracks, upgradation has to take prominence now. Because now the trains are available, which are better trains, faster trains. Now that we have Kavach already approved last July, so now we have automatic train protection technology also in place. So now is the time when we should focus more on upgradation, So this year in the budget, we have taken a large, very huge target, humongous target, almost 7,800 or 7,700 kilometers of upgradation.
Okay.
And construction last year was a record year, 5,300 kilometers. This year we will be we'll be now ramping it down. We'll be ramping it down and keeping it steady at
new rail lines come down.
Yeah.
And upgradation goes up.
Correct.
So when the upgradation happens, so Kavach, I think you rolled out 1,400 kilometers. What's your target for this year? How many
1,400 was more for testing and perfecting the technology. Now 15,000 kilometers tenders are already in process. 10,000 locomotive installation is in process. 12,000 people have been trained in installing it, using it, repairing it. It's a very complex thing, right? Telecom towers have to be installed. It's like having one full new network like a Jio or Airtel network and installing things on the locomotives.
Okay, so assuming that you have faster locomotives which have top speeds of 180, assuming that you improve the tracks and get Kavach installed, how does the speed then increase between point A to point B?
See, the most of the railway tracks in a country 10 years ago used to be at 70 or 80 or some of them at 100 and a very few at 110 or 130 kmph. Now practically the entire network, except barring a few areas which have some technical complexities, are already 100 kmph or reaching 110 kmph, and close to 40% of the network is reaching 130 kmph. And now we are focusing on improving some of the high density routes where we want them to be 160 kmph.
So it is possible. 160 is achievable in some of these routes.
Surface 160 with proper fencing and proper automatic train protection. Beyond 160, one should go for elevated networks only.
Okay, all right. I want to ask a couple of other questions. One is, of course, on the bullet train, because there's a lot of curiosity regarding how this is planning out. Are we a couple of years away, and how's the progress coming?
Its progress is very good. Progress is amazing. 340 kilometers of construction work done. The bridges, the tunnels, the elevated path, it's going on very well. The stations are coming out superb. The undersea tunnel work is going on. I just recently went and saw it. The station at BKC, the terminal station, that also is progressing very well. We lost 2.5 years because of Mr. Thakrae's not giving us permission. Mr. Thackeray didn't like this project. He never gave permission. But then now we are making up for that lost time, and it's progressing very well.
What's the top speed that you're expecting to hit?
That will be 320 kmph.
A top speed of 320 and an average around what, 250 plus?
280 plus.
Okay, I want to ask you a question, because in the last 1 year, this has been a major concern. You've been out on the field talking about it. In a large area where you have tens of thousands of kilometers of unprotected track, we've seen instances of somebody's blocking the track, putting foreign material on the track. Is it a concern? Is it a safety concern? How are you guys investigating and handling this?
This legacy network has its many issues, but we are handling it very meticulously, and we have taken some really tough actions. In fact, one of the places where one actress was kind of doing a video shooting, we got her arrested. So, I mean, that kind of things, those kind of things are there, and we are taking very strong action against it.
The budget largely now talks about utilizing government assets. The railways, of course, has one of the largest land bank assets in the country. Have you made some progress on this and monetizing these assets? And how much have you of a land bank have you?
We would like these assets to be put into good economic use, and that's why the models that we are creating are basically, how can we create IT hubs there? How can we create GCC infrastructure there? For example, at Bhubaneswar station, the way we have constructed it is the first 4 floors will be used for railway purpose, and the 7 floors above that, which is about 3 lakh square feet area, will become the IT hub. Let's say the Tirupati station, the first 2 floors will be used for railway purpose, and after that budget hotel, right? So that kind of thinking is there, and that is giving us very good results. And now that the model is getting in place and investors are feeling confident about it, we'll be able to do many more projects.
I know our time is short. Railway stations next, looking like airports. How's it going?
You must go and see some of the station work which is happening, whether it is Jaipur, whether it is Lucknow, whether it is Patna, whether it is West Bengal, whether it is any part of the country, or you go to Chennai, Alambur, go to any of these projects, the progress is amazing, and people are very happy with it. When I go and meet the common people out there, common citizens, they feel satisfied that yes, after 100 years, we have got a leadership, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's leadership, where even small stations are getting developed. Like somebody actually mentioned it, like Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, which took the road construction down to the last village. The same approach our Prime Minister is having for constructing 1,300 stations right now getting constructed today.
Okay, last big picture question. We are seeing near saturation in Awas Yojana, near saturation in Jal Yojana, near saturation in electrification. You are seeing railways now bringing in something different. The highways are getting built, the ports are getting built, airports are getting built, but the GDP rate stubbornly gets stuck under 7%. What's happening there?
It's not that. See, the GDP, our country's economy, with our complexities, our legacy, we are today in that 6 to 8% band. And we must strive to be in this band and hit the upper limit of this band. And we must maintain the inflation we should keep the inflation under control. All these constraints with the cost of imported energy, where the vagaries of global capital flows because of the high debt that most of the rich world took, $9 trillion worth money that they printed. All those things are something where it requires very deft management, and that is why when we go and talk to the global, when we have discussions during Davos and all, we find that the people really are amazed at the deft handling of economy that our Prime Minister has done. His economic thinking is very refined. After COVID, a large number of very big economists, very senior people, they all said, do helicopter money, just print and distribute, right? That is what the Western world did. That's what US did, that's what Europe did, that's what Japan did. But our Prime Minister, his economic thinking was that we should make sure that our economy is always on a consistent growth path. That's why he focused on investment.
Okay, here's looking forward to next year hitting 8%, fingers crossed. But thank you for the service that you're doing. Thank you for the cheer that you're bringing. Thank you for making railways something that we now started enjoying traveling on once again. And it's a long haul. I know a long way to go. But nonetheless, Ashwini Vaishnaw, thank you very much for joining us on NewsX.
Thank you.